All right, we are live. Hello. Let me just pull up one more thing here. Happy Monday. Just gonna open the stream up on my computer. All right, everything's working. We are good. All right, got the chat pulled up on my phone. Doesn't look as clear it does on my computer. Wonder if my lens is dirty. Oh well, I will clean that later. Alice is here today. Turn around. Thank you for joining us, Alice. Alice loves when we do yin yoga because she gets lots of pets. We're going to be doing yin today for beginners flow, so we'll hold our postures a little bit longer than we normally do for about 2 to 4 minutes. Really sink into them this Monday evening. If you have blocks, definitely grab those, stick them up by the top of your mat. They really come in handy when we're holding postures for a longer time. We'll get started in a couple minutes. I'm so glad we're going with yin tonight. I'm tired. I feel like I did so many things between work and now, including getting to the gym. So yeah, this will be a nice stretch. Did a very arm intensive boot camp workout. It was a good time. Made some soup, made some bagels. So I've got soup waiting for me when we're all done tonight. What do you think, Alice? I gave her dinner a little bit early so they would be a little more chill during class, because sometimes they're like bouncing off the walls or like eating my lights. So you guys had dinner a half an hour early. Yeah, it was I made a sweet potato, wild rice, and lentil soup. I think it'll be really good with like smoked paprika and cumin. We've got 1 more minute, then we'll get started. And we are going to start in a block supported bridge today. So if you want to take it down to your back, snatch up a block and keep it nearby. We'll get started in a minute. I'll do a little welcome. My name is Rachel. Welcome to Beginner's Flow. We are here at 7 p.m. every Monday night, Atlantic Standard Time. So that's 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Tonight we're going to be doing yin yoga, focusing on hip opening. So we'll hold our postures a little bit longer than normal. I'm gonna have a timer out here so I don't keep us on one side for like 30 seconds and one side for 15 minutes. If you have blocks, definitely grab those because they come in very handy during these long holds. All right, I'm gonna check the All right, perfect. Let's get started. So we'll start lying on our backs. We're going to take a block supported bridge position here. So planting the feet comfortably close, just lift the hips up and we'll slide the block horizontally under on its medium or low setting. I wouldn't use the highest setting right now. Pop that under your sacrum, low back, upper butt. Try to get it in a comfy spot. And we're going to settle in here. You can keep these feet planted or send the legs along. And let the hips open. I'm going to start our timer. And we'll stay here in this reclined posture letting your hips passively open. Taking a moment to notice your breath pattern. Trying to take nice deep inhales and exhales as you settle into this hip opening posture. Sometimes while I'm lying here in this block supported bridge, I like to lightly engage the glute and then release to feel a little more opening through the hip flexors. Really drawing attention to your breath here. You can even close the eyes if that's comfortable for you, as we'll be here for about another minute and a half. One more minute here. It's a nice way to start Monday. Nice slow stretch. I really like this posture, especially after sitting at my desk all day. If you're like me, you have your knees curled up onto the chair all day, and that is just not the best, but who sits in a chair like the way a chair is intended? That's crazy. All right, we've got about 3 more breaths here. Great. If your legs are extended, let's slowly draw them in to plant them on the ground where we started. Lift the hips up and just slide that block out from underneath you. Great. Hug the knees into the chest. Hands can come to the shins here. Great. Holding the knees here, let's reach the arms out to a T and gently let the knees fall over to the right, falling into a little twist here. Get this timer. We want to keep both shoulders on the ground here. And the legs don't have to stack up perfectly. They can stagger however is comfortable. This is just a gentle little twist. Alice. Can't believe Alice hasn't settled over here with me. She's walking away. Wow. Apparently, Yoga Master Alice is above Yin Yoga. Oh no, she doubled back. For this twist, you can keep your gaze up towards the sky, or if it's comfortable for your neck, maybe you want to gently look over to the left. Oh. We're here for 30 more seconds. All right, 2 more deep breaths here. Great. With your next inhale, gently pulling the knees up towards the chest. Keep those arms out to a T, and then let the knees fall over to the left. Settling right into the other side here. Thinking about keeping both those shoulders grounded. I find the arms reaching out to a T really helps with that. And for the gaze, that can be up to the sky, or if you did so on the other side, maybe you gently turn the gaze over to the right. Great, keep sinking into this twist for another 3 breaths. After this, we'll move up to a seat. All right, 1 more breath in here. And breath out. Great, staying in this twist here, gently roll over onto the left side body. And then use the right hand to press you up to a seat. We're gonna open right up to a Baddha Konasana, a butterfly pose. Taking the bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. So there's a couple things you can do with your blocks here as we start to fold into this posture. You can take the feet a little further away. Stack the blocks behind your ankles and bring the forehead down. Or you can take the blocks to either side of the feet, maybe bring the forearms down. Or if you find you have a hard time folding in this position and keeping a long spine, so we don't want to be too rounded, sticking a block, oh, these are small blocks, I might have to put them both there, under the butt to help you sit up nice and tall and maybe give you a little more space to fold. Trying to keep a long, lengthened spine, gently drawing the shoulder blades together. So wherever you'd like to take your Baddha Konasana, you got a lot of options there. Gently taking a fold here, thinking about keeping a bit of length through your spine, not curling over and rounding. Whichever variation of blocks works for you. And if you don't have blocks, books, water bottles, anything like that can help here. Blocks are such a great investment though for your yoga practice. I use mine. I don't think I do a practice without my blocks. They're the best. It's nice to have something to bring the ground to you. Blocks are often looked at as kind of like a beginner tool, but they are definitely not. They are, I would say, pretty essential. But if you don't have them, there's lots of things you can use instead. All right, we're gonna hang out here for another couple breaths. I guess I should open the chat here. Trying to use the timer and the chat at the same time is challenging. We've got about 50 more seconds here. I can't figure out why my camera looks so blurry on the stream on my phone. Looks crystal clear through my lens and crystal clear in OBS, but something's wrong. All right, we're gonna be here for another 20-ish seconds. All right, take one more deep breath in here and breath out. Slowly rise all the way back up to a tall spine. Hands can come to the outside of the legs to close them, and we'll tuck those off to one side, making our way towards a tabletop position. Once we arrive here, we're going to take it right down to the ground, bending into the elbows, lower all the way down. On the ground, the feet should be hip-width distance or wider, pressing into the tops of the feet, hands underneath the shoulders. With an inhale, gently rise up towards a baby cobra, and then we'll place the forearms on the ground to find a sphinx pose. Squeezing the glute here to open through the hips, pressing those hips into the mat. And if you want this to be a little less active, you can walk the hands or the forearms a touch forward to make this into more of an elongated sphinx. Take some pressure out of the low back. Great, and gaze is just going to be straight ahead here in this posture. Now in yin yoga, normally you stay pretty still, but in my sphinx, I like to add a little bit of a neck roll here. So maybe if you want to try that as well, knocking right ear to right shoulder, rolling chin to chest, and left ear to left shoulder. Just find the sphinx pose is a perfect place to roll out the neck. Always with the neck moving nice and slow. And if you don't want to take any neck movement, you can definitely remain nice and still in this sphinx. I just like to give options because sometimes I get a little restless in yin yoga. Oh, Alice just grabbed me with her paw. She grabbed my foot. Come here, Alice. It's yin yoga. Don't you know what that means? There you go. Oh, no. Okay. All right. We're going to spend another 30 seconds here. If you want to take this a little bit further, you can take this into a seal pose, pressing into the hands. Keep squeezing the glutes. Lift the elbows up off the mat. This is your seal pose. Now this is quite a bit more intense than your sphinx, so no need to rise up here and stay here the whole time. You can stay in your sphinx the whole time. You could take a couple breaths in your seal. All right. Last breath in. And with an exhale, we'll lower everything all the way back down to the mat. Replant the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and we'll press it up to a tabletop position. Great. From here, coming towards a lizard lunge, right leg is going to pick up, right foot steps to the outside of the right hand. I like to grab blocks underneath my hands here for this. Let the hips sink down, heart space reach forward, squeezing the glutes, opening through that right hip flexor. And here we are in our lizard lunge. This is a nice one. We're going to spend 2 minutes on each side here. Always taking a moment to notice your breath in a posture. All right, for our last minute here, if it's accessible for you, you can always lower the forearms down onto blocks or lower the forearms down to the mat if that's comfortable. We've got 20 more seconds here. Take 2 more deep breaths. And once you finish that second breath, starting to rise back up, gently pulling yourself out of this, stepping the right leg back towards our tabletop. Maybe take a little bump with the hips left and right to shake that off. And we'll move into the other side, picking up that left leg, stepping left foot to the outside of the left hand, rising up into that lizard lunge, engaging the glutes, sinking the hips down, reaching the heart space forward. Should probably take a peek at the chat. Everyone's doing good. Perfect. I'm gonna have to check my camera settings. I don't know why this is translating so pixely, but it's bothering me. All right, stay lifted here for another 15 seconds, and then we can lower down to forearms if you like, and if that's accessible for your body. All right, if you did so on the other side, we can take it down to the forearms now. Getting real deep into those hips tonight. I should have mentioned this on the other side. If this is uncomfortable on your back knee, you can always fold over your mat to add a little more padding or stick a blanket under there. Oh, this hip flexor is so tight compared to the other side. Oh. All right, we've got 2 more deep breaths here. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly start to walk up out of that. Oof. Step that left leg back towards our tabletop. And we'll sit off to one side. Great. Planting those feet wide in front of you. We're going to take a 90-90 position with the legs. So to get there, windshield wipe the legs over to the left, or over to the right, sorry. And then adjust the legs to try to find a 90-degree position. Flexed feet here. And we're going to turn the torso to frame over this right leg. So this is our deer pose. From here, you can always grab those blocks once again. And we're going to hinge forward and fold over this right leg. I like to bring my forearms down to blocks. But you can also stay up on the hands if that's comfortable. I'm going to pivot because maybe it'll be easier to see. No. Well, it'll be more comfortable for my knees facing this way. So deer pose is a lot like our pigeon pose, but much gentler. And personally, I prefer it to pigeon. Nice little outer hip stretch here. We'll just be here for 2 minutes on each side, just like our lizard lunge. And then we'll be taking it onto the back for our final little stretchies. 30 minutes of yin yoga is like, phew, goes by so quick. I should have brought softer blocks out for this. I'm using these hard handstand blocks, digging into my elbows. All right, we've got one more deep breath on this side. And then slowly walking it up, we'll make our way to the other side. You can simply windshield wipe the legs all the way over to the left. I'm going to turn to face the front so you can see me a little better, and we'll start to find our alignment for the left side. Torso is going to square off over the left leg this time. Trying to find about a 90-90 with each leg, flex into the feet, and from there starting to hinge forward over this left leg. Maybe you bring forearms down to blocks. And we start to sink into the other side. I can't believe there's no cats here with me. We're doing yin yoga. This is the perfect time for me to give pets. They'd be here if we were doing something dynamic and active. We've got one more minute on each side here. I feel like I look like I'm on my phone the whole time here, but I'm going between the chat and my timer, so. 2 more deep breaths on this side. Great. Whenever you're finished those 2 breaths, walking it back up to a seat. And we'll bring those legs in front of you to plant and roll it down onto the back. Once you get to the back, knees can hug up towards the chest, taking them wide. Flex the feet. We'll show the bottoms of the feet to the sky, finishing it off with a happy baby. Reaching up to grab pant leg, big toes, or outer edges of the feet. Happy baby is one of my favorites. Now you can remain still here, but I like to rock a little side to side sometimes. Get a little low back massage. If you're feeling really stretchy and you want a little more hamstring stretch here, you can play with extending through a leg and extending through both legs, finding a nice grounded straddle. Whatever you're feeling. The remainder of our time will be spent in this happy baby for 1 more minute. If happy baby is uncomfortable for you to hold this long, you can always hug the knees in towards the chest, hands on the shins, taking the knees wide. That's a nice little modification. All right, whenever you're ready, you can release those legs and send them long. You can settle into a little shavasana if you like, but it is our time. I do encourage you to take a little shavasana, but with 30 minutes, it's hard to fit all the poses in and fit a shavasana. So, thank you for joining me this Monday evening for a cozy and flow. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please check out the link below for my Patreon, where we have multiple live classes per week. And yeah, it's a great little community on there. There's also options to just support the content I make on here every week on YouTube Live. Oh, now Alice is here. Now that we're done. Yoga Master Alice, I'm disappointed that you skipped Yin Day. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. I'm really excited to have some of the soup I made because the whole house smells like soup and I want some. I guess I should open up the chat. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. All right, I will see you guys next Monday. Have a great rest of your evening and farewell.